All right, Offsiders, welcome back to another episode of Offside Talk. It's unusual for me to do the intro because one of our podcasters is sick. I'm here with Ohms, as usual. Emin has unfortunately called in sick today. He's not coming back. He's now fired from our podcast. Omar, do you have any messages for Emin before we get into it?
Well, Emin has supposedly copped COVID-19, so bit of a bitch. But no, all jokes aside, he will be missed for today.
He will be missed, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Now, just before we get into it, your support obviously is helping us a lot. We're starting to get a bit more feedback from our YouTube channel and our Facebook and Instagram. So please don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram as well. But let's get straight into it, Ohms. One of the big news this week is the Newcastle United Takeover, with the Premier League now giving it a green light to go ahead. Now we're talking about pretty much going from mid-table to the richest club pretty much in football almost. I believe in football, and it's by a considerable margin as well. I bet Newcastle United fans are going apeshit crazy over this news. Their team's pretty much just going to get reinformed pretty much to top level status at the moment. Now, the rumoured pricing, I should say, is roughly £300 million. Considering this day and age, I think that's a pretty big bit of a bargain for a billionaire to buy a Premier League team.
It is.
They're saying that there was a bit of a delay with the authorities and how they're trying to work on Project Restart, and obviously with the delays of COVID-19, why this is dragging out for so long. That makes sense, and I believe that they're trying to get everything sorted and organised for a rough maybe June announcement. So it would sort of make sense considering a lot of the, what's the word that I'm looking for? A lot of the agreements, a lot of the contracts and all that, they tend to finish up in June, and you don't want to announce anything sort of, especially with the Project Restart happening. Now, there's a lot of things that we can discuss about this because, again, they're going from mid-table or a team that hasn't pretty much contested English football, yet alone European football, for a while. Now, we're talking about maybe 10, 15 years ago when you had Alan Shearer, and then they flopped it against Manchester United. But do you think that with this type of investment that they're going to suddenly go back to being a massive squad that they were? Because there's rumours of Mauricio Pochettino and even possible Rafa Benitez coming back with all the money that they would have for their transfers, for the stadium upgrade or whatever they're going to upgrade. I'm pretty sure they're going to change the entire club here. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon, just starting off with the managers, do you reckon that they should be going for someone that's familiar with the club or someone that is grown or known for success to build a team and to, not rely on too much money but still can build an amazing squad?
I think they need to look. As a Newcastle United fan, I'd probably lean more towards Rafa Benitez with what he did while he was there. Obviously, he's with that shit backing. No, barely. My pocket change is probably more useful to him compared to what Newcastle offered him. He knows the players. He's worked with them already. Obviously, to be honest, and look, I love Poch. I'm glad he's out of that shit club anyway. Spuds. I just think.
You think?
Look, Rafa
Benitez.
Look, he, like I said, with the minimal resources he's had while he was at his time there, he did good. Like they should bring him back. And I said it before. Like, we were all shocked when they sacked him. Or he walked out, or whatever it was.
Well, a lot of the problems was with the backing of the owner currently, like Mike Ashley himself.
He's a cancer to that club, and has been since for how long?
Well, a lot of the problems that they're having at the moment with the club is the lack of investment that that owner has done for the club at the moment. They're saying that with the top clubs the top players that have been sold by the team, that they haven't got the resources back to finance new players. They haven't got an upgrade to their training ground, and apparently there's not rumors, but apparently the word in the club is that a lot of the facilities are now decaying, and he's just not fixing it. Now, with a backing like the Saudi Arabian
That
public
gets rid of all your
investment,
problems.
it's pretty much just a FIFA manager upgrade button there for them. Look, it's a massive thing.
It's
Now,
a lifeline for Newcastle.
it's a massive lifeline. Do you think that if the investment does go through and it's a new season, that they should straight away get rid of Steve Bruce currently as manager, or maybe just go, you know what, let's give him a go. He's been in the club. Let's just give him a go. He hasn't got relegated or anything like that. Let's just give this guy a go, see what happens.
No, you'd have to give him a go. You can't just... Okay, you bought out the club. You can't just say,
kick everyone out.
See you later, mate. We don't want you. Give him time. All right, Steve Bruce is not the best coach, but I like the guy. But I can just keep him. Come new season, see the players that they can bring in and the culture that he brings in with the players he wants. And then it's gonna have to wait. Yeah, it's gonna just give him time and see what happens. Because it's not fair to you can't just fuck him off and just bring in Rafa Benitez or whoever they bring in. It's not fair. But then again, sometimes in football it's not fair. But I don't think they should get rid of him. They should just wait.
Well, it's a big gamble if you think about it, because if you got two massive managers currently available. Do you know what I mean? Now, you go and say, okay, we're sticking with Steve Bruce. Does that mean that Pochettino finds a job, Benitez finds a job, and then suddenly Steve Bruce is not doing the job that you expected him to, and suddenly you're forced to either sack him or deal with him, but you don't have a manager to replace him? So I think there's I probably agree with you. Don't jump the gun. Let's stick with the team that we have. Let's look at what we need to replace. Let's understand what we're doing. Sort of like
there is a big task. Like, once obviously this takeover is looking very likely and most likely is going to happen.
I'm leaning towards 90% now.
Yeah, I'm at 90% too. They have a big task from top to bottom. Obviously, put aside the financial stuff. Obviously, they've got no issues with that. But yeah, look, it's Newcastle was a big club at the time, back in the days. Look, I don't mind them. They get bought out. It can just be, it can possibly be Big Six now.
Well, be Big Seven
eventually. I don't count Tottenham at all.
Oh, look, you considering the backing that they have,
they were just always there. Like, Tottenham was just, it's just that little child that just nips at your ankle, just irritates you, but this does nothing.
Look, with the backing that they have now and the new stadium and all, I would consider that with Newcastle being bought out. Again, like we said, I personally believe it is 90%, only because you just don't know what can happen. This is a big purchase. The owner might become greedy, ask for more. A lot of stupid shit can happen in the background that a lot of people can just go, you know what, we're not interested anymore. And considering the way that Newcastle fans are sort of taking it, it's sort of like, if it fails, it's going to be bad for the current ownership.
If it fails...
Yeah, it's pretty much good luck.
I'll follow that fucking rally for the Newcastle United supporters.
Well, because how many times did they come out and say, look, we're going to abandon games, but it's also, you don't want to abandon your players. Like, I also get that, like, from the sense of...
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, really.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
That's what it falls down to. So, look, at the moment, it's all going ahead. I personally believe that the team is heading in that right direction.
I'd like to see it go ahead. Newcastle, look, like I said, they're a big club. They've got amazing fans. The stadium's terrific. I'd say bring on another potentially strong club.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to put some major pressures on the top six at the moment. Whether Newcastle's going to go straight off the bat and go from zero to European football contendership, I should say. We're all just going to have to wait and see. They are buying a team that, if it does go through, it is tough times. As in, you don't know what you're buying at the moment because a lot of players are not fit, or you don't know when to buy it at the moment because seasons are finishing usually when the transfer markets are on and all that type of stuff. So, look, it is going ahead. We're just going to have to wait and see. I reckon maybe early June or late June, we should get a rough answer. And, yeah, just keep watching here and we'll keep you updated as much as possible with the Newcastle United takeover. Moving on, Ohms. We got So the Premier League is slowly starting their restart, and we came across in the media that Crystal Palace sort of broke it down on what they've been doing and how they're sort of tackling this project restart with the training aspect and how the players are coming about and all that type of stuff. Now, just a bit of a breakdown on this one. So the clubs arrive into the training... not the players, the clubs. The players arrive into the training ground for their sessions. Now, before they even leave their cars, they park 2 meters away from each other, from everyone else due to the social distancing guidelines.
Fuck's sake, yeah.
And the players will have their temperatures taken. So this is before even anything starts. That's straight off the bat. Now, once they're allowed to leave their cars, they will conduct a pre-activation routine on the pitches before following a specially designated route to the training ground to avoid contact with other people. Now, this is not... I think this is more to just avoid the players getting in contact with people that potentially could cause them to be sidelined or to be put into isolation. Now, the outfield players will take part in non-contact training sessions, while supplementary gym work will also take place on the pitches. Then I believe they're just going to do small groups like the way the current Bundesliga and some of the other leagues that La Liga started off their training sessions with, just small sessions, and at least that way everyone can start to do their workouts and their trainings as per normal. I think once this all starts to get starts to set in motion, all that type of stuff, they'll start increasing the training with maybe 10 players, and then 15, 20, etc., etc. But at the moment, that's just the way that Crystal Palace is doing it. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams are following suit.
Yeah.
Some players have said that they're not going to play. Look, there has been some commentary leaning towards feeling for the players, and there's been some commentary leaning against the players. Now, I know where you stand on this matter, okay? I get both sides. I really do. If it's genuine intentions where you genuinely feel like there's someone potentially in my family or there's someone genuinely that can potentially get sick, I get it. If you're doing it for media's sake and you're trying to earn votes or earn media praise, then I think, you're doing the wrong thing. And then there's some players that just want to get back to work. It's which is pretty much just... Take out football in general. This is something that is going around the world, and most people are now fighting to go back into work, even though despite all the lockdowns and all the restrictions and all the guidelines that have come into place, so they do want to find work. Now, that's just the way the EPL has tackled it. Now, you've come across something from our own country for Football New South Wales, and how they're going to potentially try to restart all the guidelines that they've come up with. So what do you see in there? Is there any similarities that you've come across?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I'm just looking at the level 1 training guidelines. I'll just go through just a handful of them. So they've got the football pitch being split into 4 quarters.
Okay.
They've got no more than 10 players. That's obviously pretty much applicable everywhere else around the world at the moment. And that includes a coach apparently. So you've got 10 people. So either most likely it's going to have to be 9 players and the coach.
Okay.
And obviously this is just, I'm assuming this will apply for everyone else. Obviously the social distance is bullshit. 1.5 meters. No, I don't give a shit. Yeah, you got these little petty stuff. I'm not going to read it because it's just going to irritate me. What else do we have?
You can clearly see Omer's view on these matters.
All right, you've got heading. Obviously, there's no contact, no tackling, anything like that. So there's not much difference between what the Premier League training protocols they've got in place. So it
sort of feels like a lot of the places are imitating each other, and they sort of, in my opinion, they sort of have a blame game if something does go wrong, because it sort of feels like everyone's implementing the same sort of treatment worldwide. My biggest problem is one of the things that you just said, the heading and the contact part. Now, one thing that I found annoying was, now we know that the Bundesliga started over the weekend, over the past weekend.
Finally, yeah.
It was good to have football on. It was good to see Dortmund and Bayern going absolutely, Dortmund especially getting off to a blinder there. But one of the big things that I found annoying is you can't do contact with training. But
don't get me started. Honestly, don't.
But then you have corners. It's not like everyone's keeping 1.5 meters away in the corners.
I've said this.
I agree with you. I 100. You know what's funny? We can say all we like, but then once you see it happen, like actually how awkward it is and how stupid it is.
AIDS.
Fair enough. It becomes more stupid. I think it's more along the lines of, okay, during a corner, I can push, I can defend myself, I can do everything. I can even touch my own. I can defend my own teammate if I wanted to. But when Haaland scored, they all had to keep a safe distance to celebrate.
I got so uncomfortable watching that fucking celebration. Like, yeah, you can at the corner, you can defend, you can do whatever you want. Come celebration, they're doing like they're amputees. They're gonna freaking arms it.
Some players didn't even come next to each other.
Fucking stupid, man. Like, like, it's just, there's no common sense, man. Like, you can't do one thing and implement another fucking, like, it's this whole thing is contradicting. If you're gonna continue football, leave it the way it is. You can't. Okay, you can't. And what about the bench? You've got 22 players on the bloody field. They're literally teabagging each other on that field. But on the bench, you've got this fucking 1.5 meters. Come on, man. Where is the logic in this? Where is the logic in it?
That's true. No,
there's no logic.
I agree.
In this whole thing.
I agree with you. From a sense of, look, even one of the big things that I saw, and again, I'm going to refer to another sport that happened over a week and a bit ago, was the UFC, which is the commentators were literally at least 2.5 meters away from each other. But when it came to the promos, they're speaking right next to each other. And Joe Rogan at the time is going, I don't understand this, because we've all been tested. We've all been doing this. So I don't get why. Now,
because what's the point of testing if you're still going to...
If you're going to still keep it apart, especially like when you look at football, it makes it awkward where your own bench needs to stay apart, but then you're getting in contact with another team's players, in which are probably adopting a different type of not guidelines or testing, but you just don't know what they've been through. While you look at your own teammates and be like, okay, we're adopting this. I know what everyone's doing. Yeah. So. Look, I found that quite stupid, and I don't know if the Premier League's I think the Premier League will adopt that. I think every football association around the world that will start is going to adopt that. So
they will, because I'm pretty sure they're obliged to do it, and I'm pretty sure the EPL and every other league finds it stupid as we find it. They're just following orders at the end of the day.
They're going to have to follow it. I know. The Bundesliga is still going ahead this weekend, so we're going to have to see more of this awkwardity, if that's a word, or awkward bullshit, if we want to call it that. But look, that's just the way it is currently at the moment. We're just going to have to wait till the Premier League just gets underway to see if we can laugh. I just want
to get on the way. Like, I'm going to try ignore the fact how stupid this whole thing is. I just want to lift this fucking trophy. And watch everyone burn.
Unless you guys flop it.
Then you won't be seeing me ever again if that happens. So,
look, I'm pretty sure that Liverpool will lift it when the Premier League does restart eventually, I should say.
Hopefully June, but...
Unless they sack the Premier League. Sack the Premier League. Nah, I'm joking. No, they should genuinely stop it. They should stop the league. No one should get anything. And whoever's in the top 4 currently should go to the Champions League. See, I'll take that any day of the week, with Chelsea being 4th.
Fuck's sake.
No, look, I personally think the Premier League does need to finish. And
every league should have finished. Not just Premier League, everything.
Except League One.
Yeah.
Look,
it doesn't.
With the limited amount of news this week with football that we can fully get into, that is all from us. Now, just before I do finalise it, I would just like to start a new segment, if that's try to make it more of a weekly thing, if possible. Trying to give everyone their football news in under 3 minutes, 2 minutes, so that everyone's up to date as much as possible. Try to cover as much as best as we can. So here's your football news under 2 minutes. Now, Kante. So Chelsea's allowing Kante to miss training and potentially the rest of the season due to his health and safety issue. Now, Kante has had previous health issues, and he's also lost a family member to a heart attack. So he is worrying for his health. So Chelsea has granted it if he needs be. Now, he has a massive haircut he needs a big haircut at the moment. So there's a lot of
Can you give some to Mane? Because Mane looks like he's lost some fucking four. He's got an 8 head now. He's
got an offside trap on his forehead.
He does.
Manchester United now, with all their issues that's currently happening, their debt has risen by nearly £127 million to just under £450 million. So they're going to have to start getting on top of that. Andres Villas-Boas has...
Is he alive?
He is alive. He's rumoured to have rejected the Newcastle job. If the takeover does go forward, I think that's the best thing for Newcastle, considering Villas-Boas did not do well in the Premier League. Ronaldo, the R9 himself. Now, Fabio Capello has come out and stated that R9 managed to cause a massive problem in majority of his dressing rooms with the amount of alcohol that he used to drink while he was at Real Madrid. Apparently lived a very party lifestyle. With Fabio Capello coming into the role, that's why a lot of players moved on, and he was very unhappy with the atmosphere, especially with what Ronaldo was doing at the time. Hudson-Odoi has returned back to training after his arrest early in towards the end of last week, I should say. He had a bit of an altercation with some model. Put your head in, Hudson. Didier Drogba received no votes in an Ivory Coast Football Association vote that they had for their new presidency, for the president of that association. He was actually favourite to take it out, but he received
fucking rigged.
He got no votes. La Liga is rumoured to be returning back onto the field on June 12th. There is the actual play, yeah. Now they're still confirming that, but the rumour is June 12th. Serie A, finally I should say, the Serie A, they're aiming for the current campaign to be completed by August 20th. That is the plan, as in confirmed plan. And this I found a bit odd. The aim is to start the next season on September 1st, which is 10 days after the current season finishes. Their season is due to start May 28th. And that is football under whatever amount of minutes that was. So that is as much football news as possible I could fit into that. Now, there will be a lot more news once everything is going forward, but at the moment, all players need a haircut. And
please donate some to Mane if anyone watches this, because it's obviously lockdown hasn't been overly grateful to him.
Yeah, it looks like he's aged a lot, and not Fabinho.
Fabinho looks like a 1970s Brazilian porn star.
Yeah, Firmino is rocking the Jerry curls at the moment. So, they all need haircuts. But, Holmes, that's it from us this week. We do look forward to the Premier League starting. Newcastle United Takeover. You know what it is. Anything else from you, Holmes?
I just want football to start. I just want everything to start again.
Yeah, everyone's wishing for it to all come back to normal.
I just want to get to playing as well. Far out.
And that's a wrap from us at Offside Talk, guys. As always, our social media links can be found down here. Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also reach out to us on our social media if we've made any mistakes, if you have anything to add to the discussions that we've had tonight. And as always, stay offside.